Welcome back to another video, everyone. It's Mike, and we had to discuss what's going on with Battlefield. If you are not aware, EA and DICE have released a little trailer confirming the new game and showing us some good information and what to expect with the new game. They've also released something called Battle Labs, which is a community playtest that you could sign up for and potentially receive an invite to play the game and give your opinion before launch. Now, this is obviously an attempt for EA and DICE to gain the trust back in the community, which they have definitely lost with 2042. Now, hopefully with this playtest, they will actually listen to the community and not do whatever they want and do what they think the community wants. Now, Battlefield has done this in the past before. It was the CTE for Battlefield 4. And CTE essentially stands for Controlled Test Environment. And for those of you that don't know, Battlefield 4 was one of the worst launches ever. And with the help of the CTE and a little time, they turned it into the fan favorite game that most of us know today. But anyway, getting into the trailer, they start the trailer off with a little bit of a flashback and reminiscing on key Battlefield moments and past games like 3, 5, 1. And maybe it's just me because I'm a cornball, but I actually did get goosebumps when the trailer started with that. I think it was a good marketing tactic to try and get you back in to reminisce and that kind of nostalgia effect that we all feel like we're stuck in. But getting into what actually matters. Through the trailer, we did see like some Easter eggs on some computer screens, like, for example, the Black Hawk design, which I would presumably think is hinting at the Black Hawk being the transport vehicle for the United States team, which in older games like 4 and 3, it was the Huey. Now, I'm not sure if this game will encompass countries fighting against each other or if it will be like 2042 when it's like organization versus organization. I do hope it's countries, though. Now, the trailer, for the most part, is just them talking about the future game and them talking about Battlefield Labs, which is very important pieces, especially since they want to get the community involved. And in the last 5 seconds, they actually do give us some gameplay from an early, well, I'm assuming it's an early test of the game. And in this footage, we do see what seems to be a Middle Eastern map with an M1 Abrams. We have some uniformed soldiers that look more like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 kind of player models, where it's just kind of them in the camo uniforms. Now, there is some difference in designs in some of the soldiers, assumably meaning assault, support, recon, engineer. We might see a rocket launcher on one of the backs. It's hard to make out, though. And I think my first general impression of the gameplay, it looks much better than 2042. I don't think the graphics of 2042 are bad at all, but it looks, like I've been saying, arcadey to arcadey. And I think this game, at least from this build, it looks way more gritty. It looks just more immersive, right? It's not too polished, but it looks good enough. Like Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4, if the Battlefield 4 graphics were updated today, I think it would look pretty much like what we see in this trailer. Now, I do like the visuals of the guns. I think the gun looks amazing. I think the sight looks good. I think the soldiers look good. I think the tank looks good. I think the environment looks good. I think the destruction looked good. We did see pretty much half of a building kind of collapsing towards the end of the trailer, which reminds you of Battlefield 3, which if you're not familiar with, there's a map on BF3 where if you shoot the side of a building, the debris falls on the soldiers and you could potentially kill them or damage them, which I think is neat. I think that's what they're kind of showing us, is that they're going back to a more destructive layout, which is good. Now, I want to get into some key things about the trailer and what the community is kind of talking about. So, obviously no specialists, at least from what we can see in the trailer. It looks like it's just 4 classes, and it looks like just soldier models, which is interesting because with the 4 class system and what seems to be a uniformed team, I'm not sure how they're going to do skins in the game, which, in my opinion, I could care less about skins. But as we all know, skins have become a vital part of gaming with companies because it's another stream of revenue. So if they do add skins to the game, I hope they keep the same design and maybe just like change the colors up a little bit, like just different camos. I would hate to see them bring in like crazy skins like COD. I would really hate to see that. So hopefully they keep it military themed, if that makes sense. Now, we all know that Battlefield is a casual, just kind of sandbox game that you run into, but I want to talk about the future of what I think it could be. Now, competitive is not for everyone, and it doesn't have to be for everyone. But I think Battlefield can be a great competitive game, and here's why. Back on Battlefield 4 on Xbox, there was a competitive league set up by the community that it was a 16v16, which is the game mode Conquest Small, and the assets and infantry numbers all vary depending on the map. And it's a lot of fun, right? Being competitive and fighting against other pro teams, right? It's a lot of fun. And I think it brings out a great reason to learn mechanics of a game and try and get better at the game and try and be on a pro team. Now, EA and DICE don't have to sponsor this necessarily, but as long as they have the servers in the game where leagues could pop up and start themselves, and it could spiral into something big. Now, we know competitive scene in Call of Duty is not great right now. There's lots of cheaters and issues with the game, and it doesn't seem like people are enjoying it as much. And I think this could be a great opportunity for EA and DICE to kind of capitalize on that. Now, some other members of the community have received information from DICE and EA, like Flackfire. He was told that, at least to my knowledge, that Portal will be integrated into this game, presumably being Portal 2. And I'm concerned about this. Now, we all know in 2042, and if you're not aware, there is no server browser for the core multiplayer game. The only server browser in the game is in Portal. And at least to my knowledge, in Portal, you cannot gain XP in it. Now, I am fine if they add Portal into the game and they allow you to do whatever and you can't gain XP with it. I'm okay with that. But they also then need to add a server browser for the core multiplayer game and still allow you to gain XP. Now, whether that means they will remove options to prevent XP glitching and stuff like that, I think is a good path for them to take. But if they think they can add Portal into the game again without giving the option for a core server browser game where you can earn XP, I think is a big mistake. I think that's why Portal is pretty much dead in my opinion. Hopefully they will add a regular server browser, and I think if they make it rentable again where you have to pay for X amount of time to own a server, I think that's the good approach to do it if they want to make some money, especially if they're not adding skins into the game. I think it's the way to go, but I guess time will tell, and hopefully they release more information about this. And just really quick to hammer home the point about the server browser, communities on Battlefield are built through the server browser. Now, on Battlefield 4, there is still active communities on that game today. You can see the servers all the time. They have Discords where people from those servers join the Discords because they love playing in that server so much. And there's multiple avenues for communities. There's dogfight communities. There's just regular pub communities. There's competitive communities. There's Milsim communities. And I think if you don't add a good server browser to the game where people can grind the game in, I think that is a huge missed opportunity for EA and DICE. There's no reason that I can think of where they would have to not have a server browser in the game. So hopefully they do, and hopefully they give us more information, like I said. So fingers crossed. And that is pretty much all I have for this video. I hope to hear your guys' opinion about this and hopefully hear more from DICE as time continues on here. I know the playtesting and everything is supposed to be happening relatively soon. So I hope to hear what you guys have to say in the comments, and I wish you guys all a great day.